And quickly, let me read what is on Gabi Ochridako's Twitter handle, and he is tweeting from Talensi and Gabi at Gabi Ochridako, Talensi 2015. He says, "Congrats BT Baba of NDC for winning the Talensi by-election. NDC takes back its traditional stronghold." And again, it says, Talensi 2015, it looks like the big gains went to both NDC and PNC against NPP. NDC has made a sweet comeback. PNC on the rise. Great show. That's from Gabi Ochridako. I'm taking you straight to Talensi because Daniel Latte is there. Provisional results indicating the NDC is in the lead and has taken the seat, but we need to confirm it. Daniel Latte is there. Daniel, so what can you tell us? We're told that collation is ongoing, but some provisional results are out.
That we have here, and the MPP now, per the 60 polling stations, has 5,252. The NDC has 7,848. The PPP went with 158, and the IPP got 30. NVP got 51, and GFP 44. UPP got 34, and PNC got 4,601. Now let's look at total vote cast, which was 19,393. Rejected ballots stood at 622. Now, valid vote cast was 18,771. These are the results that we have here per the Electoral Commissioner's table, which of course is shown here, tabulating each and every polling station, results coming in from each and every polling station. So it's ongoing. Let's listen to them.
MVP 0. NDC 133, 133. PNC 235, 235. GFP 2. UPP 0. NPP 75, 75. Total valid votes 446, 446. Total rejected votes 17, 17. Total votes in ballot box 463, 463.
And so the returning officer just finished with one polling station, and I guess he will be going to another one until they've exhausted all the 74 polling stations. Now you can come with us as we bring you up-to-date results here from Talensi. Trust us for the best of all the coverage here on TV3. The team, we are very grateful for staying with us, and this is Talensi.
Daniel Latte coming to us from Talensi there, and provisional results indicating the NDC candidate 9,716, the NPP candidate 9,578. Those are provisional results. But quickly, let me read to you what Gabi Ochridako of the NPP has put on his Twitter handle. And he says at Gabi Ochridako, Talensi 2015, congrats BT Baba of the NDC for winning the Talensi by-election. NDC takes back its traditional stronghold. And then again he says Talensi 2015, it looks like the big gains went to both the NDC and PNC against the NPP. NDC has made a sweet comeback. PNC on the rise. Great show. That's from Gabi Ochredako. That's the beauty of the game, conceding defeat when it matters most. But those were some live scenes from the Collation Center in Talensi there. We'll continue to update you throughout the show. But we'll try hard to speak to Ben Efson, pick his brains on what really the situation is. Is it surprising that the NDC has taken back its stronghold, and what does it mean for the party, and also of course the NPP and other parties which took part in the elections? Ben Efson is on the line. Ben, grateful for you joining us. Yet to get Mr. Ben Efson on the line, but we're showing you live pictures on your screens now currently from Talensi, the Collation Center, and the Daniel Latte is there and getting through us on some of the figures that been mentioned. But quickly, let me remind you of what happened earlier in the day, just when voting was going on, because there was tension in Talensi when the ruling NDC's Azuka Boys and the opposition NPP's Bolga Bulldogs clashed. Now, we're told that some persons from both sides were injured as a result of the sporadic shooting.
For the timely intervention of the military, the situation would have degenerated into a bloodbath. The assailants reportedly shot at a vehicle parked in front of the NPP office. The clashes have been linked to the ruling NDC's Azoko Boys and the opposition NPP's Bolga Bulldogs, who are both monitoring the ongoing by-election in the constituency. Earlier in the day, the police intercepted an AK-47 rifle, a pistol, dagger, axe and other dangerous weapons in the area when they mounted a checkpoint at Tongo to conduct a random search of vehicles entering the town.
Okay, and of course, those were some skirmishes that happened whilst voting was ongoing earlier in the day. But also, Daniel Latte spoke to the police commander there, who earlier assured that all was peaceful and that everything will come to a successful conclusion. Let's listen to him.
We have in our custody some about 12 machetes. We also have a pump action gun with a number of ammunition. We have an AK-47 rifle in our possession. Now, with regards to the AK-47, we want to emphasize that it is an officially assigned weapon to authorized persons. We are keeping it just because we have detailed specific persons on duty here. So any authorized person who is in possession of any official weapon that is not authorized to be here with the weapon, all what we are doing now is to ensure that the weapon is kept in our custody until after it's all over. With regards to the pump action gun, no, that is a private weapon, and so we are going to investigate to get to know how come or why that person was in possession of that weapon in this area of operation. And we are going to investigate and then get to the bottom of everything. We've heard rumors that the cache of arms have been intercepted. No, that is overblown statements that people are making. But the truth of the matter is why, yes, we have an AK-47 in our possession. But like I said, it is only officially designated persons who carry AK-47s. In the interest of policing or security, for the purposes of strict security, what we are saying is that any authorized officer who has not been so detailed to be here on duty with the weapon, we will take the weapon and keep it. That is how come we are keeping the weapon. I believe the owners are known. The owners, especially when it is that the gun is a registered gun. So we'll get to the bottom of the matter. That is the purpose of investigations. We do not want to preempt issues. We aren't going to jump to conclusions. We would go into it discreetly. You get that? We would investigate and then come out with the truth of the matter.
And of course, commander of the formed unit of the Ghana Police Service there, assuring of investigations into what happened. Some weapons are seized and the police continuing investigation. Meanwhile, Collation Center there in Talensi and the collation of the results are ongoing, and we're told about between 40 and 50 of the centers have already been collated. Our man there, Daniel Latte, will feed us in before we wrap up the show as to what could be the final figure there. A close contest there. But we're asking you there, you have monitored the elections, you have watched what went on in Talensi, you have been part of it through social media, on radio and on television. We're asking you to speak to us on 0302 763 450 and tell us what you think about what happened there, the accusations, the clashes, the seizure of the weapons there. What does it mean for elections 2016? Time now for you to speak to us, your agenda. Right, so before I let you speak to me, let me speak to the Kofi Adams of the NDC, the national organizer. He's just joined me on phone. Ms. Adams, grateful to have you tonight.
Thank you, and good evening to your viewers.
Great. Thank you so much for speaking to us. And it's past 10 p.m. Collation is ongoing. The NDC's camp, what exactly is the feeling there?
Oh, of course, it's full of joy. We've worked very hard. Our president, we keep telling Ghanaians that he's working so hard, expanding and extending development to every part of this country. And anytime we say it, people say it is not the case. We came here, we tried it, and the people of Talensi have endorsed our message and have voted for our candidate. So it's full of joy, the joy of acceptability.
So you're sure your candidate is winning?
Oh, sure. We are only waiting for electoral commission to do the declaration.
Prior to the election, there were scenes that were not so exciting. For you, as a national organizer of a party, as a Ghanaian, and looking at our democracy, how would you react to what happened? The clashes, the weapons. What happened?
Sure, there were so many incidents that I believe that it's wrong. Incidents that we must not tolerate in democracy. Unprovoked attack on our party members in front of the New Patriotic Party office, disruption of movement of people who were there to do their democratic duty, destruction of property, vehicles that were destroyed. I don't think that these are things that we must tolerate in our body politic. And where we will urge the security agencies to act and make sure that the perpetrators are brought to book.
Does it suggest that perhaps as a country, after practicing democracy from 1992, perhaps we're yet to learn lessons? Is that what you think is happening?
I think the desire of people to win power at all costs. When people declare things like all die be die, when people declare all kinds of situations that it's more like they are not ready for anything, they must win at all costs. That is what happens, and that is what we must condemn outrightly and know that democracy is people's right to choose, and they should be given that right to choose. But when you behave as if it must be you every time, then that is what happens. And the earlier New Patriotic Party as a party, and then its members learn lessons and stop some of these things, the better. The people will continue to reject them anyway. If you continue to behave that way, you will be rejected post after post.
But some members of our party are alleged to have attacked the first vice chairperson of the NPP.
Look, I had the cause of calling the medical person at the Bogatanga Hospital and also at the Talensi Clinic And it is very clear that Freddie Blade never reported with any injury. However, Freddie Blade sent 2 persons to the hospital, one who sustained a head injury and another one an injury on his mouth. So it could not have been on any attack by an NDC person. And that must be made clear. Call Freddie Blade and find out from him whether he reported to hospital as a result of being beaten by anybody. It is not true. It's all false that they are spreading out there.
But you confirmed there were some clashes in front of the MPP head office.
Not just clashes. They vandalized property. They destroyed property. They destroyed vehicles. They shot at my deputy's car. They shot at his car. His car was shot at direct to the driver where the driver was sitting. And I'm sure that you've seen some of the pictures.
Right. Mr. Kofi Adams, quickly, let me leave you here because I'm going back to Talensi because the Electoral Commission is about announcing the final results. Grateful, I spoke to you, agreed to speak to me. Hopefully when the results are announced, I'll come back to you. But I'm trying to get back to the collation center there because the EC is about ready to officially declare the final results. Our man Daniel Latte is there, and he will very soon be joining us on what the EC's situation is as far as telling us the declaration of the final results after almost every polling station there is being collated and perhaps the results accepted and agreed on. So very soon get you into the main hall where Daniel Latte will tell us what is in there. But indications are that the NDC candidate has won the election. What we're waiting for is a declaration by the Electoral Commission. Already, Mr. Gabi Ochiridakun has tweeted congratulating the NDC candidate, Mr. BT Baba, and conceding defeat by the NPP and wishing the NDC well. The beauty of a game of democracy and elections. We'll take you there once the Electoral Commission gets ready to announce the results, the official results of all the 74 polling stations. We're told that voter population was about over 39,000 voter population in Talensi there. Some 8 candidates contested the polls, including 2 of the major parties in the country, the NDC and the NPP, also including the PPP, the PNC, the Ghana Vision Party, the New Vision Party, and the Independent People's Party, all of them contesting the seat. And in fact, before the close of the final campaigning, it had become a 2-way horse race between the NDC and the NPP, as their candidates had taken lead as far as those who wanted to vote for them are concerned. And of course, by the close of day today, indications whether the 2 candidates were going to take the lead. But before I take you to the collation center, let me speak to a Deputy Communications Director of the NPP, Mr. Anthony Cabo. He's just joined me on phone. Mr. Cabo, grateful for you speaking to me tonight. Let's begin from here. Now, how is the NPP faring? The results are not yet in, but I am sure from where you sit, you could have information. What is the situation on the ground as far as the results are concerned? Hello, Mr. Cabo.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Cabo. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Grateful. Grateful for you joining me tonight here on News at 10. First of all, as far as the results are concerned, from where you're sitting, you could have a lot of information. What can you tell us?
Well, good evening to your listeners, your viewers. I would like to say that the MPP is indeed very excited about the manner in which we conducted these elections and the campaign that we waged on the ground. Our ground troops and our activists have been very, very resolute and determined. They have worked tirelessly over the last few weeks to get us this this far, and we are only a bit worried about the little drama that occasioned this by-election. The kinds of things that we witnessed today in by-election was enormous. I mean, the kind of violence that was unleashed on our national officers, and the intimidation and the acts of wielding weapons by activists of the NDC is quite unfortunate. And so, but we are all waiting to see what the Electoral Commission will say. They have the mandate to declare these results, and once the declaration and official record of the election is out, the party would appropriately issue a statement to congratulate the winner of the election. But as far as we are concerned, at this point, we are very excited about the contest, and our candidate has pulled his weight. He's been very, very active, and we are grateful to all our party foot soldiers and all those who came from far and near to support the NPP in this important by-election. We'll wait for the official results, then we can comment properly on the issue.
Can you confirm that the first vice chairperson was wounded in the attack? There's some denial of him being admitted to a hospital.
Well, there was an attack on the first vice chairman of our party, and Rashid Bawa, and the treasurer of our party, for that matter. And so they made a report at the regional hospital. His bodyguard was injured. Two of their lieutenants who were following them were also injured. And so all of them were seeking medical attention at the hospital. And so indeed, there was an attack. Mr. Freddie Blay was treated and discharged from the hospital, and he went back onto the field to continue his monitoring exercise with the first vice national chairman and the treasurer of the party, in the company of Rashid Bawa, the former deputy minister. So indeed, there was an attack, and there was a police report that was made, and it is our view that the police will take forward this matter and investigate it to its logical conclusion. And those perpetrators who were named were members of the Azoka group in Tamale, the famous Azoka group, which are reminiscent in every elections that we've had, from Cherponi to Etiwa to Bimbila to Talensi, and they are everywhere. And so this is a known group of people who are out there to terrorize activists of our party. But we also like to thank our party foot soldiers on the ground for standing very firm and defending themselves when they were attacked, because the security agencies were nowhere to be found when all these attacks were going on. People were brandishing weapons and guns and cudgels and cutlasses all over the place in the full glare of the security with no attention whatsoever. And so our party faithfuls were very resolute, and they stood very firm and defended themselves when the state security was not available to provide that security for them. I'm sure there's a big story to be told after this by-election about the manner in which items were distributed overnight, fertilizers and all sorts of things, and the intimidation of the police and the security. It is expected that the security would live above board and not be intervening in matters of political contest, when especially we are in such the battlefield. And so professional exhibition of the police and their duties and responsibilities in times like this builds a lot of confidence for the institution, and also builds a lot of confidence amongst us as politicians in opposition and with the security agencies. These are a lot of the things that will be discussed going forward into the 2016 election, because of the dress rehearsals which the president himself admitted to in Talensi, that indeed what will happen here and what has happened here should give us an idea of what will happen in 2016. And so we are all going to up our game, and we will expect the security agencies to live above board and not to get involved in political contestation. It is completely unacceptable for the police to be standing idle and watch other citizens, brandishing weapons and guns and destroying public property with impunity and without any intervention. People in our party guns were pointed at them in the face of the police, and nothing could be done. No arrests have been made, And many of these people who have been arrested have been released by their political leaders, like the national chairman of the NDC and Kofi Adams himself, who have all been involved in releasing NDC activists who have been arrested and detained by the police. And so these are the things that are happening in Talensi. We will only wait for the Electoral Commission to officially put out the public record, and then we can begin to comment on the matter. We can congratulate the candidate, and we are very sure that victory will be ours until the last vote is counted. We can't accept any results being peddled around on social media,
right,
and the radio stations and TV stations making predictions,
right,
when the public record is not out yet.
Right. You mentioned Chereponi, you mentioned Kwitia, you mentioned other areas, Bimbila and the rest. Some political watchers are of the concern that the two main trouble causes, let me use this word, are the NDC and the NPP. What is your view about that?
Well, indeed, it is easy for people to conclude that the two main political actors are the problem, because indeed they are the big political parties. They are the parties that can form a government and can be in opposition at any time, a point in time. And so people can make that conclusion. But it's also important that political parties have an identity, and the NDC has a clear identity of always trying to use these Azoka boys we keep talking about have existed right from the time that they have been in opposition. This has been a military wing of the NDC that met out violence even within their own party,
right,
and external. And in 2007, we saw at their Congress in Kofodia what the Azoka boys did to their own members, and they have taken it out because it wasn't condemned at the time. And some of these acts, and I'm not saying this just to paint a picture of the NDC, I'm saying that the NPP has its fair share of some of these problems. And so it's important that when these things happen, the police and the security agencies must deal with them as criminal offenses and not to interfere because government functionaries or the ruling government members have been arrested, and because they are in government, they are given preferential treatment. And that is what causes a lot of reprisal attacks from the opposition, because when they realize that the state security is not being fair or is not applying the law equally and in a just manner, it creates all these tensions and suspicions. And that is why we think that what happened to our party officials here, even though our party officials must be commended for the manner in which they resisted the attempt and also restrained themselves from further worsening the situation, because the command of the party was very firm that we shouldn't get involved in any violent act. We should be disciplined, and our party foot soldiers have been extremely and appreciatively disciplined and have followed the instructions of the leadership. This is how we should organize our political discourse going forward, so that we do not have problems with the security agencies.
Let me wrap up this conversation with you on this. A member of your party, Mr. Gabi Ochridakon, has tweeted on his handle congratulating the NDC candidate. You suggested that these figures going around on social media and on radio and TV, you don't want to be part of it. You still stand by what you said?
Well, I do, because it is important that we allow the institutions that are mandated to declare public elections to come out with an official report, and therefore we will all be guided by the comments that we're making. I haven't seen any part of Gabi Ochridako's Twitter handle's message that says that NDC got so much votes, NPP got so much votes, or NDC got so much votes. There hasn't been any public numbers which we can talk to at this point. And so all that is being said is speculative. Let us wait for the Electoral Commission, the body that is constitutionally mandated to declare public elections. And so when that is done, we can all comment, and then processes of grievances can be initiated. We cannot continue to allow the media and social media, for that matter, to determine or call elections in very critical national elections like this, because we must begin to restrain ourselves. Going into 2016 is going to be a very close contest. It's going to be very heated, and so we must allow the Electoral Commission to declare these results. Parties and functionaries and radio stations and political pundits declaring results and not allowing the public institutions to do that. It must not be a culture we must allow to fester in our democracy going forward, especially into the 2016 elections.
Grateful. Anthony Kabo is the Deputy Communications Director of the New Patriotic Party.